Hey, everybody, in this episode of Box Office Breakdown, Fox and Disney hoped their Phoenix would rise at the box office. Instead, it crashed down in flames. We're going to break it all down next.
Welcome to Popcorn Talk, featuring movie discussion, news, and interviews. Popcorn Talk. We talk movies.
Oh, hey, everybody. I was just getting into that little jazzy beat. And I said, oh my gosh, that's our show.
That's
All right. Hey, everybody, welcome to Box Office Breakdown. This is the show that looks back at the box office that was, and then we...
Prague.
I love it, and even better with a little underscore next to it, so it's great.
Exactly.
Yes.
It's like a remix.
Yes.
About the box office that lie ahead. I'm Frank Moran.
What's up? Kari Lane here.
I'm Amy Cassandra Martinez.
And making us look good and sound even better, laying in that great music bed at the beginning of the show, is Bree in the booth.
Hey, everybody.
Now, everybody should show her some love in the chat, because Bree is making a tremendous sacrifice to be with us today, because the Tonys are on, and she could be out there enjoying the latest Salute to Broadway, but instead she's spending the next hour hanging out here with us. Bree, thank you.
Thank you.
You guys are very welcome. It's worth the sacrifice.
Aww.
Thank you for being with us.
You may change that opinion by the end of the show.
Hey.
We'll see. But as always, folks, like us on Facebook, give us those 5 stars on iTunes, subscribe to the YouTube channel, give it a thumbs up while you're there, 2, 3, 4, and feel free to comment down below. Oh my gosh, I took Carrie's line. Carrie, what?
It's okay.
What else?
Wait, now you have to do the gesture since you already said it.
The comment down below.
Yay!
Well, what can they do right now if they're watching? This is after, if you watch it later and you want to go back and enjoy these
Well,
comments.
we do have a live chat and we have some people, so thank you for joining us and not watching the Tonys. But you could be watching the Tonys and joining us too.
True.
Sure.
You know?
I mean, just keep the Tonys on mute and enjoy this scintillating conversation.
Yes.
Yeah, you don't need to actually hear the Tonys to really enjoy them.
No.
Because we all watch it for the dancing.
Yeah.
just
And not the singing.
Totally.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
So, folks, we'll be breaking down this week's box office. We'll talk a little bit about the difficulties of the Xmen franchise and how they've kind of landed. They did not stick the landing for this. And then we'll also, speaking of
Not
Dark
a hero
Phoenix,
landing?
Not a hero landing, no. At the end of the show, we will do a big spoiler view take of Dark Phoenix. We'll let you know plenty in advance if you want to duck out, though, before we get into details in depth about Dark Phoenix. But let's start off with this weekend's box office.
Yeah.
I feel like going into it, people were expecting Dark Phoenix possibly to take number 1. It was the conclusion of Fox's version of the Xmen. But that was not the case. Secret Life of Pets 2 ended up taking number 1 from Universal, $47.1 million.
Kids movie and animated. And it's pretty much summertime.
It is, although that is a huge, it's like 55% less than the original did. So,
Wow.
yeah. The
But
first
that
one
trailer, I was like...
I didn't enjoy the first one.
Or after seeing the first one, people go, yeah, they're like, we don't need the other one. Because
Yeah.
the first one's new that you go, sure, let's check it out. And then,
Because I saw the trailer for the first one, and I was like, oh, it seems intriguing. What do pets do when their owners aren't around? Then I saw the film, and I was like, man, this was not a really fun execution of this idea. Mm-hmm. And yet Universal doubled down and said, yeah, let's do another one. Plus, let's open up a theme park attraction next year about this franchise. I wonder how they're feeling now when they see how how little audiences wanted to go and check this out this weekend.
I mean, maybe in their minds are like, merch, guys. We'll get them with the merch.
I guess, but if you're not having people actually even going to
Right?
see the movie,
I don't know what
gifted
this. Okay,
This
but
was
this
a-
is Secret Life of Pets.
No. No.
I'm a big
This was
fan,
a
you guys.
Pride gift,
You
so
know.
happy Pride.
Oh, that's cooler then.
No, I was going to say animation, speaking of what pets do, and throwback. If anybody's seen this, I'm really curious. Please comment down below. Enchanted Journey. It's okay. It's 2 squirrels that are pets, in Japan, and they break out of their cages, and one of them's like, I want to know the world, and there's a forest where the animals live free, and they're not just in a cage like this. And so he's like, I'm going to go find them. And his sister's like, I'm going to stay in the safety of our home. And so it's his journey. It's really good, though.
and in the end, the sister is eaten.
Stop.
No,
I knew you were going to take
stop
it there.
it. Stop it.
No, that kind of reminds me of Madagascar, no?
Oh, because they're in the zoo,
zoo.
and then you need to go
Thank
out
you,
and see
thank
it.
you.
Yes.
See? Yes.
Quick little tangent
Yes.
about this. Where you've got Blue Sky, who did the Peanuts film,
Okay.
Or you've got Illumination Entertainment. You've got Pixar. You've got Walt Disney Animation.
Yeah.
In terms of those companies, DreamWorks, of course, with their How to Train Your Dragon, Shrek.
Yeah.
I feel like if you were ranking those, I think you'd go Pixar number 1.
Yes.
What is your number 2 or 3?
Walt
we-
Disney.
DreamWorks?
Walt Disney and
I'm like, DreamWorks, are we counting as their own entity?
Yes.
Okay, then Pixar and DreamWorks I'd almost say are tied. If it just depends on what style they choose. Because that was I didn't see the first Secret Life of Pets because I didn't love the animation style. I was like, eh. I actually animation one that I'm like, ooh, I don't remember the company, but I remember a while ago that was What Animals Do When People Aren't Looking, Over the Hedge. That was really good and funny. You're like,
Okay.
Over the Hedge. No,
I don't agree with like everything you're saying right now, but continue.
that's okay. Nut Job was even kind of cute, but or at least that style I liked better. So I think what it looks like makes a big difference. Because even within Pixar and DreamWorks and Disney and all of them, each movie could have a different artistic style, and that could make people interested or not too.
Yeah, it's just, I feel like Illumination, I want to like, because I mean, I do appreciate the artistry that goes into those films. I just never feel like the storylines deliver, whether it's the Secret Life of Pets franchise, even Despicable Me franchise. I'm like, The Grinch, it was kind of, You know, they did, the Lorax, that was, So it's like, I don't know, it's a bummer to have, I mean, certainly they've made a lot of money off a lot of their films, but I just wish I cared more about what they put out. It's like, if you hear a Pixar film, you're more likely to go like, I'm going to really enjoy that film. Sight unseen. Odds are I'm going to enjoy this. Good dinosaur aside.
Well, we have Yash Srivastava in the chat says animated movies in general have been lukewarm for years now.
I don't agree. Because
Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse?
Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
True.
Coco, what was it, 2 years ago? A year
Yeah.
ago?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like, those are big. I feel like Pixar, for me, is up here, and everyone else is like, me. But, like, DreamWorks is down here. So it's completely different. And I don't know, I think, like, you have to rely on both the script being good
True.
and the animation being good. It doesn't need to be perfect with every single attention to detail. I mean, it did take, what, like 14, 16 years for Incredibles 2 to come out, but did you see that detail? So it just has to go hand in hand, because if you have great detail and everything, but you have a sucky script, then I'm going to be bored. Maybe it's not meant for me, got it, but kids should also be stimulated. That doesn't mean that just because it's for kids doesn't mean you can make it crappy.
Yeah.
No, that's true. I feel like the best animated properties are the ones that can cross ages. And so it's like, the ideal one is like kids laugh at something, and then as you get older with that film, you look back, you realize, this is what the adults were laughing at.
Yeah.
Now I understand.
See, the idea of like, what do pets do when you're not there, when you're not at home or wherever, is kind of like Toy Story. You know, what do your toys do? So they had like all of that to really go off of. But I mean, I didn't even bother to see the first one. But hearing from you, not so hot.
Yeah, not so hot. I feel like, sadly, Illumination. It's just, if you tell me it's an Illumination film, I'm like,
It's not going to sway you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like DreamWorks, well, I feel like with DreamWorks, I can understand what you're saying.
Shrek.
Because like the Shrek films, I don't really care for.
No.
But the How to Train Your Dragon, that is a franchise that I adore.
For sure.
That's definitely a good one.
It's more of like an exception
Yes.
than the rule.
But I can understand. I do think that the pendulum swings very far with DreamWorks in terms of stuff I like and stuff I'm not really interested in.
Yeah.
And I feel Illumination's kind of more leaning over towards, sadly, stuff that I don't know, not interested in, but just disappointed in.
Yeah. I mean, I would like to think that animation is getting better and that the scripts are going to be getting better. Maybe Into the Spider-Verse kind of lit a little fire under people's butts to be like,
And that was
whoa.
a way to change up the style too, almost a multimedia effect, which was a nice change of, like, even if you're not like, if you love the style or not, you can agree that like, ooh, it was a refreshing change of how other films are portrayed like that of an animation movie.
And I'd be really curious to see the influences that come out from Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
Because I feel like everything else kind of has that same, there's certainly differences and nuances, but they all have the same kind of general kind of look to them. Mm-hmm. And Into the Spider-Verse was just such a different look to the animation style that we're so much used to as American filmgoers.
Yeah.
Or they took it and they went further in a better direction in terms of it had that motion capture feel, but then they didn't go the uncanny valley where some movies you go, like Ragnarok, where it was like a motion capture thing, and you go, oh, that doesn't look quite right. But this one goes, here's the people, but let's shift it to a more cartoony style, so you don't sit there going, like when the animation looks too real, it just has that uncanny valley vibe. You're like, not quite right. But yeah, Spider-Verse goes, here's the realness, and let's put a comic book filter on it, essentially.
Yeah, it felt like reading a comic.
Yeah,
just like,
exactly.
Yeah. Well, and also I don't know, I feel like with movies, especially now, there's so much for everyone that I can go in and be like, okay, I can watch a horror movie, I can watch a kids movie. It's not necessarily like, oh, it's just aimed for kids. And just to have that kind of universality to the movies is really appreciated.
And I feel like I'll be curious to see how the the producers and artists are handling the sequel, and as well as the female-centric Spider-Verse film as well, where this style was so welcome and so celebrated. Do you just stick with that, or do you do what you did the first time and really kind of push it even further and see what that looks like? I'll be curious to see what it is, because I feel like other people are going to be starting to flock towards perhaps that style, so you don't want to just do something that everybody else is already kind of emulating.
Yeah.
Do you want to keep pushing that boundary? I don't know. I'll be curious to see what they do.
Happy medium.
Look at that.
Maybe both.
So that is The Secret Life of Pets 2. We'll be curious to see what Universal does. I don't think the odds are that we'll see A Secret Life of Pets 3, though. I feel like.
If you guys want to see a third one, let us know in the comments down below.
Yeah. And
Everyone's referencing some awesome animation films, but a bit of them are like, no, those came out like probably 5-10 years or something, which you go, this was really good, and then you look up when it came out and you go, oh, that came out a while ago. We're talking last three, like more immediately right now, I'd say, of where it's been a little less.
Coming in number 2 is a film we're going to talk a little bit about, as I said, in depth at the end of the film, but we have got Dark Phoenix.
Yes, we do.
The conclusion to the X-Men franchise from Fox. That came in with a underwhelming $33 million.
Thank you. I'm so glad. Thank you. I was like, oh, poor man.
All three of us have seen it, and we'll go into our spoiler-filled takes at the end of the show. But in general, Amy, what'd you think?
There were some good moments.
The credits.
The music, some of the acting, fun stuff to watch. It was
nicely done, Amy.
I had great food.
Oh, they're
too.
great. Where
I
did
got
you see?
concessions, so I saw it at AMC.
Perfect. Popcorn?
No.
Boo.
No. The chicken and waffle sandwich with curly fries. I was starving that day. It was great. I was like, woohoo! And
But it does help your experience because you feel good.
Yeah.
Actually, spin off of that before we say it, and thoughts of, leave a comment on this. Speaking of Dark Phoenix, there was a press screening and the fire alarm went off like 10 minutes before it ended. Yeah. And then Yael, who's a host here as well, and mentioned, like, had a tweet of, does like your experience and your audience affect your movie? And I would say absolutely, in terms of, we talked about A Quiet Place. I'm so thankful my audience was silent. They didn't make a single noise, and that really added to it. But if you had a fidgety, noisy audience, that would have kind of bumped off your feelings. So let us know, how much does the audience and like your experience at the theater, because if you go and you're having these yummy and good things, like that does help you be in a better mood. Leave comments.
True. But it's also like, if it's a really good movie, the audience could be doing whatever. I don't care. I'm in it. But if it's a okay movie, then I will hear the person like 3 seats from me chewing their freaking popcorn, and it'll drive me nuts.
I don't remember what movie it was, but it was a good one. And the couple next to me were like heavy petting each other. And it was so noisy. The girl's like rubbing her hand on the guy's chest, and it's just so loud. And I was this close to being like, stop it. Like, it's like, you get your thing on, I don't care, whatever. But it's so noisy in the theater. I'm like, do you really have to be doing that right now?
You didn't rub his chest? Like, what is so great about this chest?
Let's talk about this.
Yeah. But that's like your neighbor of like somebody being really noisy. But like, my opinions on Dark Phoenix, so I enjoyed it, actually. I don't feel it was, I can kind of get why people are like, oh. But that was a movie that was okay leaning over to my friend. Okay. Like saying a comment or two, and people talking behind me almost a little bit, but that wasn't like horrible because I wasn't super like engaged in the movie, but I still enjoyed it.
Surprisingly, guys,
I know, right?
I did not enjoy this film.
Yeah.
That's not what you said earlier.
Yeah, I
You
know.
said you loved it.
What?
That's true. That's
Yeah.
true. I'm getting the Dark Phoenix logo just on my chest. It's gonna be my
Yeah, proof.
That's right.
We'll
Yeah.
need it
All right.
after.
Yep. Follow me live on Instagram, guys.
Yes, we'll live stream it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be great. I'll get into my thoughts later. I will just say, I don't know Sophie Turner other than just from the X-Men
personally?
films. Personally, she for some reason does not want to talk to
Hang
me.
out. Okay.
Yeah,
That's
well,
fine.
like I said, she's busy, with her Jonas brother and vaping.
Do you know which one?
Nick.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Joe.
I believe it's Joe Jonas, yeah.
Joe.
Joe.
Yeah.
Nick
Great.
Jonas, I believe.
Priyanka. Nick and Priyanka.
Oh, that's right.
Okay.
That's true.
Quick question for you.
Yes.
You have not watched Game of Thrones?
I have not, so
Okay.
I don't know her from that. I only know her from the X-Men work.
Then quick
Underwhelmed.
question also. Then Amy, you've watched Game of
I've seen the first 2 and 3 seasons.
Okay, and then
I've
Brie.
seen all of Game of Thrones.
Okay, and comments. I thought she had
Spoilers, maybe?
so much makeup because in Game of Thrones she has like nothing and she's beautiful, and in Phoenix I'm like, when did she have time to be like, here's my brows, here's my eyeshadow, here's my lipstick, here's my blush and highlight? I'm like,
That freaking eyeshadow, 1, really pretty, but 2, so not the point. Like,
Yes.
what the heck was that going on? And it was very nicely done, very nicely blended, light on the inside to open her eyes, dark on the outside.
but it looks so obvious of wearing makeup.
Yeah, it didn't make sense at all. And I was
Frank's like, I
this is
totally noticed.
ridiculous.
I was about to say that, and I'm bummed
I
that
know.
you stole my
Okay,
thunder.
well, if you go watch Game of Thrones, this girl has close-ups on her face. She's gorgeous, and it's Game of Thrones, so it's like a time of not doing makeup that way. So it was so weird to see her in this movie of like, makeup.
No point. Like, I noticed
It
the
was
eyeshadow
so
right
heavy.
away.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's, certainly the script didn't do her any favors, but I think a lot was going to be required of her to make this film and the arc of this character and the story, whatever remote chance it had to succeed, relied a lot on her, and I just don't think that she delivered, in my opinion.
Yeah, stay tuned to the end to really
Yes.
figure out, like, what we think. 'Cause
Brie,
I've thoughts.
did you see it?
I have not seen it. I instead watched Insidious 1, 2, and 4 because I'd only seen 3 this weekend.
Oh, okay.
Ah.
Did seeing 3 first when you watched 1 and 2, where you're like, oh no, I get what's
Well,
going
so
on.
I watched 3, and then I watched 4, and then I just watched 1 and 2. And
Wow.
so I think it was like, I didn't know I was doing this, but I'm watching it in the correct order of the story.
Oh,
Oh,
like essentially
okay.
chronological almost?
Yes.
Cool.
That's wow.
That's really interesting. Well, yeah, because then if a movie goes back in time, that makes sense. It's very cool. Which one would you say is your favorite?
I think 1 and 2 are my favorites. I kind of find them to be one movie though together.
Oh. Yeah, if you watch it chronologically, that totally makes sense.
Oh,
Very cool.
look at that. All right. Bree's hot horror picks of the week.
I like that.
That's
Hot horror.
horror picks
Horror.
of the week. Coming in number 3, back to our top 5 of this weekend at the box office, was Aladdin from Disney. Another $24.5 million to the box office. Coming in number 4, Godzilla King of the Monsters from Warner Brothers, 15.5. And then rounding out our top 5 was Rocket Man from Paramount, another $14 million to it. Bree, have you seen Rocket Man yet?
No, I kept trying to see it this weekend, and I don't enjoy going to the movies alone, so I can't go.
Same.
I couldn't find someone to go with me.
Go with you.
So someone did agree. The real YT, they did put too much makeup. It was kind of caked. Yes. And then a lot of people, Jennifer Lawrence phoned it in. That's what a lot of people felt.
Well, I'll wait till the end.
Oh, all right. I can't wait to hear these hot takes.
But Bex G says when Sophie was given good material, she is amazing. Oh, when she's given good material, she's amazing.
Well, all right. I guess I'll probably never see that because I don't know if I'm going to get into Game of Thrones. We'll see whatever happens.
I mean,
Yeah. So, but that's great. That's great that you feel that way.
Yeah.
Oh, that's terrible.
Great.
That's terrible. That's terrible of me. I'm so awful. So, folks, of course, we did our box office bet, and it was
Yes, it
about
was.
Dark Phoenix.
yes, it was.
And, ladies and gentlemen, for I think it was like the 5th week in the row, Amy's lost. Oh man, this is so sorry, Amy.
Liar.
That's true. It was a big fat lie.
Mm-hmm.
So Dark Phoenix made $33 million. I went big thinking
Mm-hmm.
that there would be a lot of interest. And boy, was I quickly, when I was watching the box office for the numbers for the weekend, I'm like, ooh, this is not going well.
That's why you went and hurry up and saw it.
That's right. I saw it Thursday night. So I was,
wow.
I was
Me
right there,
too.
yeah. Right
Yeah.
there, 7 o'clock.
Wait, Yeah.
AMC.
Yeah.
That's right. Burbank.
Wait, did you? Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you get the little thing?
No,
that
you went
they
to
were-
the fan event? That's the
I
6 o'clock
did.
one. That's the 6 o'clock one.
Oh, okay.
You got
Oh,
the you,
lucky.
you get that keychain?
I got a
All
keychain.
right.
What'd you get?
I don't know.
It's like an X.
I got it. Yeah.
It's
and
what?
it's just it's in my purse somewhere.
It's like a little the Xmen logo on the
Oh,
keychain.
that's cool.
Great.
Yeah.
My movie theater did not have that. And I watched it Saturday in the afternoon.
It's because that wasn't the fan event.
No.
She went to a
Yes.
It was
special
not an
fan event
AMC either. So
for a keychain.
Yes.
hey, free stuff is free stuff.
I went and bet 78 million though. Clearly overestimated any sort of enthusiasm for the X-Men audience at this point.
Yeah.
Then we had Brie coming in and third place there for 46 million. Kari coming in strong number 2 at 37 million. Almost got it, but our winner, Amy Cassandra Martinez, with $29 million. There
Thank
you go. Look at that.
And you got.
Hey.
That's really realistic.
You know, actually, it's
No,
actually a
stop
dual
it.
win. It's a dual win because it's 33 straight up.
So it's 4
29
and 4.
So yeah, 4 and 4. So it is a split
It's a
victory.
tie.
High five, girl.
High five.
That's right. But
Let's
still,
talk makeup.
let's do
Hey,
it.
that you know what, that could be really distracting though in certain movies. Like if
Oh,
it's
yeah,
too
for sure.
obvious or it can look too fake. You know, because there are times where it's great and adds to it as well, and other times you go, it takes you out of it because it's the coffee cup rule in movies. Go watch that on YouTube of Coffee Cup Awards.
Nice.
Have we?
Yeah.
Okay, we've talked about this. But it just, you know it's fake, but you're trying to believe in this world. And when it's something so regular, it just pulls you out.
Yeah, I can understand that. How's my makeup look though?
It looks
all right.
gorgeous.
Good.
Gorgeous.
It's all right.
You got a nice dewy
Oh.
complexion.
Well, thank you. Thank
It
you.
is pretty toasty outside. I think we all have that.
So, folks, we're going to be doing another box office bet towards the end of the show. We've got 3 films in consideration here.
Wow.
We've got Men in Black International, the latest installment in the Men in Black franchise, trying to see if they can revitalize that from Sony Pictures. That's going to be on 3,800 screens. Then we have Shaft, with Sam Jackson reprising his role as yeah, it's Shaft. Yeah, that's all right. I was start singing that song and I was like, nah.
Oh,
all right.
wait, yeah, come on.
Yeah, it's like, it just no. Who's
Do it.
No.
Yes.
Who is no? We gotta go.
Yay!
All
Come on,
right.
come on.
From Warner Brothers, no, 2,900 screens, and then late night. Mindy Kaling and Emma Thompson from
Yes.
Amazon Studios. It's going to be on 1,500 plus screens there. So one of those 3 films. Start voting away in the chat about which one you'd like us to do our box office bet on towards the end of the show. But in the meantime, we'll talk a little bit about the X-Men lack of success here at the box office, especially speaking internationally. It underperformed there. It came in. That's right. Hooray! Hooray, everybody. We're cheering that? I came in below pre-weekend projections with an international box office opening of $107 million in 53 markets. Combined with the domestic bow, it was a global debut of $140 million. So, yeah, it is running behind both of the last installments overseas for X-Men Apocalypse and X-Men Days of Future Past. It's number 1 worldwide and number 1 in 36 offshore markets. But audiences essentially gave it the bird amid lousy reviews and social media reaction.
That's good. I like that.
There you go.
I remember the press people I follow on Twitter and friends, and they're like, press embargo, I can't talk yet. And then when they did, they're like, no.
Well, Kathleen Taff, who's Disney's president of theatrical distribution, franchise management, and business and audience insights, she said, as a quote, a great cast, and filmmaking team tried to bring the franchise to an epic conclusion, and it's disappointing to see it not connecting. I think what's going to matter is in terms of how these films will be remembered. Hopefully, it's the combination and not the opening of the last one. So, yeah, I mean, I guess you hopefully can look back at the X-Men franchise as a whole and not feel too sour. If they didn't really stick the landing, does that kind of taint your opinion about the
No.
whole franchise's entirety?
Well, we'll save full thoughts to the spoilers time.
Basically, Disney's Aladdin, though, it's crossed to $500 million globally last Thursday, and it rode past $600 million this weekend. And the overseas drop was just 30% for $67.6 million. And Godzilla got $41.7 million in 78 markets. And basically, the international total is $213 million for that, and $292.3 worldwide. And Secret Life of Pets is it's getting a long rollout, so I guess we'll see how that kind of tracks through international box office over the summer. It basically got $16 million in 30 offshore markets this session, adding to its $100 million it got last session. So there you go. I guess I know you're keeping up with Avengers Endgame. You got to know what's happening with that. It is now at $2.73 billion and is just $57 million below Avatar as of today. Amy?
I still have hopes it's going to happen while they're in theaters, of course.
Do you think Disney re-releases it later to try this year to try to get a little bit more out of it?
Okay, yeah.
Do you think people would? Like if you say
in the holidays?
Yeah, like November, beginning
It could
November.
be the people that, like, similar to how you haven't watched Game of Thrones at all. Now that everything's out, they go through and watch them all. So there could be a revitalization later.
Would that be more for you guys if you were in that same
Nope,
situation?
I already saw it. I'm good.
Oh, you've already seen it. But as somebody that hasn't seen it,
Yeah, no, just
the fact that by that time it's already going to be available on whether it's streaming, Blu-ray.
there are a lot of people that just wait for it to be on DVD,
Yes.
on
Yeah.
streaming service, regardless of how good or bad or what kind of movie. People are like, I just would
They don't
rather
like
wait.
going.
But knowing if they re-released it theatrically, would you say like, oh yeah, I guess
people
I'll go
go.
see it in the theater, or would you say like, nah, I can just see it at home. I'll just do that.
I think there's really both, for sure. I know both those kind of people.
All right. Way to be
Amy?
committal there, Kari.
Yeah. Well,
Depends on the movie. Like me, if it's a movie like Endgame, I'd want to see that in theaters. But if it's something more like a rom-com, I'm okay watching that at home. Like if it
Okay.
is something more visually epic, I like seeing it in theaters. And even if I missed it too, Amy.
All right.
I just want to see everything in theaters and at home. So
I just want to see things.
I just want to see things.
You just want to see the things.
I just want to see all the things. But yeah, I mean, I would definitely watch it again if it came out. Yeah,
Okay.
re-released, so we can get past Avatar.
That's right.
Did you notice I said
I
that?
did that. Yeah,
Oh,
she's
wait.
part of it.
And before we get to it, speaking of rom-coms, did you watch all these?
Yeah.
You gotta talk about it too.
I saw Always Be My Maybe. That's really hard for me to say.
Always Be My Maybe.
There you go. And I loved it. It was great. Go watch it on Netflix and some theaters.
I thought you would like it.
Yeah, it was great. Oh my gosh.
Aw.
Some
It's a
yeah.
good rom-com.
I started watching it last night.
You started
Yep, and then I fell asleep.
because you're tired. Because you're
It
tired.
was because I was tired. I didn't. Yeah. So.
I will agree with you that pacing is a little slow. That there was a part where I'm like, but it's overall very good.
Oh, nice. I mean, I get to the part where they re-meet after.
Yeah,
That's
they
where
come there to start.
That's where it gets really good.
Does it? Because I was
Stay
like,
with it.
it seemed
Go
like it was
back
kind of
and
moving.
finish.
I was like, okay, this is kind of going, and then I
It
was
kind of
like,
slows. It picks back up.
All right,
Stick with it.
good deal.
Yeah.
Special appearances from wonderful.
Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm sure more.
That was a interesting
I just
segment.
wanted that to keep going. I was like, just give me this. Just make it like 5 hours long.
Oh, see, I was the opposite. I'm like, okay, I'm good. We get it.
It's
Yeah?
Keanu. I love him so
Oh no, he was
much.
so funny. It was fun seeing him be himself, sort of.
So, folks, we're going to jump right into our top 5 for next week, do our box office bets, and then we want to make sure we have some time to really dive into Dark Phoenix. So, we've got 3 films entering our potential top 5 next week. Men in Black International, 3,800 screens, Shaft on 2,900, and Late Night on 1,500. Do you see any of them taking number 1?
Yes, Men in Black.
Men in Black. You're like,
I mean, I guess, I wonder, I think the allure will, I don't know how much people are excited about the franchise, or they're like, I really like Chris Hemsworth and Tessa Thompson in Ragnarok. I'd like to see them doing more stuff together. And that's what's going to be the thing that draws them in.
both.
Yeah, it's that plus The Secret Life of Pets isn't going to hang on.
No, I think this is
So,
going to take a steep drop.
It's just like,
yeah.
yeah.
I would like to see it do well, but I just don't know. I think this might be another, sadly, one of those franchises that comes back and then underperforms. I feel like this could happen.
Men in Black.
Yeah.
Well, the third one didn't do so hot.
I know, but surprisingly, I really enjoy that movie much more than the second, Men in Black 2.
What? I
yeah.
love the second one.
Oh, Men in Black 3.
But
It's
see,
got
this
time
was a
travel.
nice-
You got me.
Sucker.
But this is a great way to take a franchise and be like, here's the like the idea of the world we like, and here's it in a different place with different people. And that's a good way to do it, because then it's not the, oh wait, we have to get, it's nice to have those people back kind of a thing, but this is a way to reboot and be part of that world, but like something different.
I completely agree with that, because the concept in and of itself is really great.
Yeah, it's so interesting.
And if you feel if it's shackled to getting Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones always in it, then that's like, oh, well, gosh, we're really kind of putting our handcuffs on ourselves. So a way to be able to kind of rejuvenate and kind of widen the scope of this would be really cool, like you're saying. All right. Well, Amy, what do you think your top 5 is going to look like?
Okay. Men in Black, International, followed by Shaft.
Shut your mouth.
No, I will not. Followed by Shaft. Followed by, this is what I want, okay? Okay. Followed by Late Night, followed by The Secret Life of Pets, followed by Dark Phoenix.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
All
I'm
right.
gonna stick to it. So, I've already said it.
Got it. All right.
Okay.
Gary?
I think similar on the lines. Yeah, I'd go with Men in Black, Shaft, and then just bumps the others down.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that. I mean, I think Late Night, it seems to be being kind of critically well received, but I think just the fact that it's on such little amount of screens is going to keep it from jumping higher up the list.
Yep.
I don't think so.
It's, you think...
Well, Secret Life of Pets, too. Like,
But
I'm gonna have hope. It's fine.
No, I would like to see it do better.
Yeah.
But I just don't know if the screen size is going to give it that juice. But
I got you.
we'll see. All right,
Yeah.
so folks, we're going to do our box office bet and then dive into some Dark Phoenix spoiler talk. So I'm going to call out to the Ken Jack, the mighty Ken Jack, in the chat if he's there. Let
Yes,
us know what
they
the deal
are,
is.
and I think Shaft was winning.
Oh, all right. I'm down for that.
Are you
Let's
gonna
talk
start
some
singing
Shaft. Shaft. There you go. That was it.
Wait, that's black.
I tell you, like Shaft, I was like, what the deal is, and then I saw the Red Band trailer that came out,
Yeah.
and I was like, I'm in for this film.
I feel Men in Black's done so much advertising, so like that's Shaft. I've seen very few trailers.
No, that's
myself,
true. But if you get a chance to see the Red Band, it sold me. I was like, all right, I just want to go. I think it's going to be goofy, and I'm down for it. All right, so we got Shaft on 2900 screen, starring Sam Jackson and more. Yeah. So, what do we think it's going to do? While I do that, of course, folks, the box office bet. We're all going to bet on the film that you have chosen in the chat, which happens to be Shaft. What we think the opening box office total will be. The person that's closest will get to be like Amy, basking in her victory as a prognosticator of prognosticators. The loser will be like me, who's already paid his dues for the week and seen Dark Phoenix, and then tell you all about it, which I'll do in a few minutes.
Shaft won 5-3.
All right. Shaft. No. Okay.
It's gonna catch on.
All right, so we got Shaft.
Oh
Bree,
my
will you be
gosh.
joining us for some Shaft?
Yes, I will
Predictions.
join in on the fun here.
I love it. All right. There we go. Well,
I had a number come to my mind. I'm like, I'm gonna go with it.
Oh, I like it. All
It's a
right.
number from the universe.
It is. I'll take it. I have no idea how well that will be, but because the thing is, since we all said it's second, that how much is first gonna make. But we have seen the ones where literally the first and the second are
Yeah.
very close. So
All right. I've got my number. You guys at yours?
Yeah.
All right, Bree, kick us off, please.
I'm gonna go with 24.
Ooh, all right.
Ooh,
Nice like that. Nice number. All right.
Yeah.
Amy.
that is a great number because I said 25.
Ooh, 25 for Amy.
Oof.
Carrie.
32.
32. Swinging big. I like it.
Swing for the fences.
All right. I went with $112 million. No,
Liar.
I just went 22. So.
Oh, I went. Oh man, I'm like way okay.
Yes. So we'll see. As much as I'm excited about it, I just also don't know about how many people I need another Shaft film. I think it's going to be fun.
I just love how happy Amy gets when she knows she's not at the lowest.
Yeah.
It's a great feeling. I miss this feeling.
So, folks, that's going to do it for this portion of the box office breakdown. We are going to dive in next into some spoiler-filled talk about Dark Phoenix.
Spoiler alert!
Yes.
Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert!
But if you want to tune out right now, As always, thanks for joining us here for Box Office Breakdown. Like us on Facebook, give us 5 stars on iTunes, subscribe to the YouTube channel, give it a thumbs up, or 2, or 3, or 4. And as always, thank you for hopping in the chat. And Kari, if they're watching after we stream live, what can they do?
Yes, comment down below.
Ah, fantastic. And if you want to stay in touch with any of us after the show's over, Bree, where can they find you?
You guys can find me at Bree, BRI_Phipps, PHIPPS on Twitter and Instagram.
And you guys can find me on all social media at Amy Cassandra.
She's like, I'm not missing it this time.
Bringing it up. Yeah.
Like a phoenix rising from the
Oh,
ashes.
yes.
Like a phoenix. Okay.
And my name's Kari Lane. You can find me online at Kari D Lane. That's KaridLane.
And follow me there on those Twittergrams at HappyGoJackie. All right, folks, we're going to dive into our spoiler-filled take of Dark Phoenix, starting 3, 2, 1.
What the heck? Okay, some of the script was not good. Not good. Too cheesy. I know that Jennifer Lawrence was like, I don't want to do this. And they're like, fine. So then they killed her off. And that was super weird. And I was like, okay. So then she's done. And just the whole idea of Jean just being like really moody and being like, I can't. Like, no.
It is and I don't need a faithful adaptation of the comic. I mean, it's fine. Comics can always, films can always adapt and change the stories. But what I just want is a well-told story.
No.
If you're adapting it, that's fine. Still tell a well story. And I just don't think the Dark Phoenix story, it is just a film that you cannot tell in one movie. There's too much that needs to be set up with the characters to get you invested in them to see the rise and fall of Jean Grey. And I just think one movie, it gets too rushed.
I think it's one of those, for me, the knowledge of all the other characters made it not feel... I think within the movie, you don't get that. But from watching the other ones, I'm like, yeah, all these people that we've seen already a few times that I'm like, I care. But I agree, and a lot of people have said that is the problem, that you just don't care about these characters by the time things happen to them. I do think some things were rushed. The cartoon probably did a better job of the story as well. The script didn't bother me, but I've heard that a few times. But I think that's one of the things that I just kind of go, okay, maybe it's just cheesy, but like
It's like what they say.
yeah.
And I don't like it. With that being said, though, it wasn't that bad. Like, I've seen movies that just hurt my soul. This one didn't. Maybe it was because of the amazing food that I had.
But do we think?
know.
Did you think Apocalypse was worse or better?
You know, sadly I think Apocalypse was worst because it had a lot of potential that was wasted. This, I mean, it was your second crack at a story, but I feel like for me, I didn't dislike it as much as I did Apocalypse. But I also was just I left it there feeling very meh.
Yeah.
I couldn't even get worked up to really actively dislike this film, which I don't know if that's even worse to just feel like
You're lukewarm. Yeah.
whatever.
That's true. I like that there was way more cool fight sequences, and we got to see a lot of powers that people didn't get to see them do stuff yet. So I was like, ooh, I like that aspect.
I did like, because Cyclops has been portrayed as pretty much a chump in all the Xmen films, and so at least I feel like he was kind of holding his
Ready
own
Player
this one.
One.
Yeah. And he got jacked for this film. But
Amy, what is that?
I don't like.
I don't know if he's my favorite casting for
Cyclops.
Cyclops. I was gonna go with his name, Scott. But I liked what they did with him more. But yeah, I don't know if he's what I would think of thought of. But I don't know who I would have cast otherwise. But I like the side characters. Like Storm finally got to do some things. Nightcrawler got to do some things of like powers and like ability. But yeah.
You know, I don't know this with like Nicholas Hoult. I enjoy him. But there's just something with the Beast as a character itself that I don't feel like
He was a little underwhelming.
They never really capture the coolness of the Beast in fight scenes.
Yeah.
It's, whether it's Kelsey Grammer or Nicholas Hoult, it's always like, I'm going to leap and I'm going to slash.
Yeah.
And it's just like, when you see him in the comic books and he's bouncing all around, it's something that you can create in a comic book, so you don't have to worry about the physical laws of gravity and stuff. You can create dynamic action sequences.
Yeah.
But it's like, you could get a CG actor for that. And you just digitally insert that digital character to get him doing wild and crazy things that would be so much cooler to see out of that character than a jump and a slash and a growl. Like, ugh.
And a hit.
Yes.
I think I mentioned this earlier. I did like the music and the score.
From Hans Zimmer, yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, there were moments where you're like, "Rah, I'm so angry." But okay, one of my biggest issues was when she was like, my emotions, like, they're not like a problem. They're what makes me something like that. I'm like, we just got that from Captain Marvel, like 3 months ago. Can we try a different feel? But I get it, like, hey, this movie was made a while ago, but that whole like train sequence, that was reshot.
Yes.
So I'm like, okay. But the very end, that wasn't. So they decided on like the same exact theme as Captain Marvel, and that was just kind of unfortunate. I mean, it's fine. Like, sure, we can get that theme again, but it was just so close to us so recently.
I just thought it was frustrating. They've worked so hard to build this world of mutants being respected, and this one idiot throws it off. I'm like, are you aware of what you're doing to everyone? Mm-hmm. It is like the most selfish character that kind of negated everything that you go, wait a minute. So for myself enjoying the movie, I felt in its own bubble. I didn't dislike it. It's when you go, this is the end of all the other things that you go, oh, it's a little lackluster.
Well, especially when you see like Michael Fassbender, who I like James McAvoy,
him.
Michael Fassbender, really
Yeah.
likes portrayals as Xavier and Magneto.
Yeah.
But I also feel like the scripts never do them justice, especially for
Yes.
Magneto, because it's the same beat. I'm angry,
Yes.
or I'm happy, something tragic happens, I'm angry, I want revenge, and then at the end, I change my mind, and I'm like, I'm going to help.
Yes.
And it's the same thing every film. I'm like, come on.
Yeah.
I don't like that they don't age. Like,
Well, that's a fun joke.
Yes.
Did you see
So
the picture of
dumb.
it's like Magneto in the 90s and then 2001?
Yes.
Like, whoa, what happened?
come on, just a little something, a few
That's
wrinkles.
true.
It's all
That's
I need.
true. Yes.
And like the villains in this were just awful, I thought, because there was just nothing to them.
Okay, they were really weird looking, but this is so stupid. But Jessica Chastain's face, like
Her no eyebrows?
her no eyelashes. I was like, how did they do this?
No
And it
eyebrows
kept,
threw me
like,
more.
It would. I didn't see. It's weird. I didn't notice that, but I noticed Sophie Turner's eyeshadow, and I noticed Jessica Chastain's lack of eyelashes, and I was like, I want to know how they did this. Is this like CGI? Like you take off all the lashes, or what? Because she does have natural lashes.
Well, she cut them
she
off.
cut.
with the-
She went
yeah.
method. That's cool.
Yes, that's what she
That's
did.
nice. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
I appreciate this movie much more now that you said that.
She
Yeah.
just they painted them green
Like,
so they could
it's
erase
these
them.
things where they get it. It's you notice it more when it's these close-ups on people, and you're just like, I'm so distracted. You shouldn't be thinking about
Yeah.
those moments and things.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, folks, an underwhelming film. I wish, again, we had more time to tell you how bad it is.
But it's not that bad.
It's
It's not that bad.
yeah,
It's lukewarm.
It leaves a sour
that
taste
bad.
in your mouth when you think this is the last time we'll see at least this
It's
version.
unfortunate.
Well, actually, you know what? It's not. I'm actually glad that Marvel has it. In 5-6
Yeah.
years, we'll see what they do.
Exactly.
Folks, thanks for joining us here. We'll see you next week. Go see some movies.
See ya.
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network, we would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network. The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Popcorn Talk Network or its owners or principals.